What's up people and welcome back to the channel. This is a big video today. We will be talking about the Premier League title race and it is getting close. Now Arsenal have been massively overperforming what was expected of them the whole season. I can't lie. Going into this season, as well as a lot of other people, the expectations really were to yet again fight for a top 4 place. And if you can get into that third and pushing the top 2 teams towards the end. I think getting 80 points this season would have been a massive step forward. Obviously 69 points last season, we've already finished above that total no matter what happens. And Arsenal currently sit on 73 points after playing 30 games. Just losing 3 games so far this season. Now, Man City, on the other hand, a lot of people have been saying they've been underperforming, which, look, I don't see that. Man City, especially with Haaland, been bagging in goals, and it's really hard for defences to keep them at bay. I'm not sure how many, but I don't recall anyone keeping a clean sheet against them really this season. And they sit just 6 points below Arsenal, but with 1 game less played. 6 points behind as they have 9 games left and Arsenal have 8. Now, this is an interesting graphic to look at. In the last 5 seasons, only once did Man City not drop a single point. And in the first season in this table, they dropped 5 points with a loss and a draw. In the third season, they dropped 6 points with 2 losses. The next season dropped 9 points with 3 losses, and last season dropped 6 points with 3 draws from their remaining games. Now, Manchester City's run-in, I'd say, is a little bit easier, but they do have some games where they're not quite obvious enough for me to call straight away with 100% confidence. Leicester on the weekend. Depending on when you see this, it could be done already, but I don't think Leicester have anything to really threaten Man City. They've been very poor, and Dean Smith, I don't think, has enough to get over Man City. So I'm going to go with a Man City 3-0 win there. Haaland's going to bag again. It's guaranteed almost. Now, Man City's next game is the big game against Arsenal. I can see this being a Man City win. I can see it being a draw, but I don't see Arsenal getting a win. As much of an optimistic Arsenal fan as I can be, I don't think Arsenal have enough to win. However, there could be a draw on the cards. If Arsenal go there and make sure they're as good defensively as they were against Chelsea, against Leicester, and also for the first 30 minutes against Liverpool, I think they can come away with a 2-2 draw. However, if they let in a goal early, I think this game will be over. It'll be up to Arsenal to find a goal early, or at least to not concede early to have a chance of walking away with points. However, I do just think Man City might win that game, and that could be a massive impact on the title race. Moving on, Manchester City then have Fulham away. As much as Fulham are fighting somewhat for a European spot, I don't think they will be anywhere close by the end of the season. Man City will walk over them with a 3-1 victory, in my opinion. And then we move on to the next game, which is West Ham against Man City, which I believe is Man City's game in hand on Arsenal. I do think this one will be an easy game for City, 4-0. I don't think West Ham will come anywhere close. And then move on to Leeds. As much as they're in a relegation scrap, I think Man City have this one done. And then it's Everton, which is the tough one because Dyche has got Everton playing very good defensive football, and I don't see them shipping too many goals. And they did get a draw at the Etihad, but I do think as well that Man City are just that much better, that even though Dyche will play in a way to minimise any chances or any good chances that Man City get, I don't see them having enough going forward to score a goal or 2 to get a draw. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 Man City win. And then we're going to go to Chelsea versus Man City. Chelsea hopefully could do something against them, but I don't think they will. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win there to Man City. And a game that I mentioned previously, but is actually to be confirmed, is their game against Brighton. I thought it was before the Arsenal game, but it hasn't been confirmed as a date yet. So that could fall anywhere depending on both teams' progression into the FA Cup final, perhaps, and also Manchester City's Champions League qualification. That's going to be a tough game away at the Amex for Man City. I don't think this is going to be a guaranteed 3 points, but I also question whether this is going to be a win. However, I am going to put this down as a very important for the title race draw, 2-2 away at the Amex for Man City. The final game is Brentford. As much as I've said before, Brentford could get something fighting for a European place, I think that it's going to be Man City's day, especially when there's a chance they could overtake Arsenal on the last day. I think Man City will win that game 2-1, trying to get revenge after Brentford beat them at the Etihad. So Arsenal this weekend have got West Ham away from home. Now, as much as West Ham are struggling a bit, I think they're going to be safe, and this is not the sort of game that West Ham will be targeting for points, as well as just coming off the back of a draw in midweek in the Europa Conference League. I think Arsenal are going to be more well rested. They're going to have a point to prove after dropping the points at Anfield. And I think in general, Arsenal will just be too good. So I'm going for a 3-1 win to Arsenal there. The next game is Southampton at home, which, yeah, again, Southampton need to win, but I don't think this is the sort of game that they do. They will try, they'll be good defensively, but Arsenal at home have been a different beast attacking. So I'm going to go with a 4-1 victory to Arsenal there. And then it's the big one, Man City away. I think this is going to be the title decider, not necessarily when the game is played, but I think if we look back at the end of the season, I think this game will be the one that ultimately decides it. Now, after this, Arsenal then have Chelsea, which Chelsea in the past have ruined another North London club's chances at the title in that famous 2-2 Battle of the Bridge to stop Tottenham having any chance of catching Leicester. Now, Chelsea have been very poor, just coming off the back of yet another loss against Real Madrid. Ben Chilwell sent off. Now, as much as I think Chelsea will be up to a North London derby, home, under the lights, for Arsenal and Arteta, I think they get this job done comfortably, and Arteta has a very good record against Frank Lampard. So I'm going to go a bit ballsy here, a 3-0 win to Arsenal. Chelsea can't score goals, simple as that. Next, and this I think is Arsenal's last real challenge before the last few games of the season. It's Newcastle away at St James's Park, a place where in this very kit Arsenal's Champions League dreams were over practically. They went up there last season and unfortunately got destroyed, really didn't have a lot of good chances. They're going to go back there again, and as much as I think Newcastle are a very, very good side, I am tipping Arsenal to just get this win, a 2-1 victory. And now Brighton, of course. Brighton are doing very well, but this is at home for Arsenal, and Arsenal have been very good there this season. Offensively, I think they're going to have to sustain some pressure from Brighton, but I think it'll be an exact copy of what happened at the Amex this season and a 4-2 win for Arsenal. I think Arsenal will get ahead, maybe let a goal in, get another one, and maybe a very late goal to make no real difference. I think Arsenal will get the job done in that one. And then we move on to the last couple of games of the season. Nottingham Forest away. Now, Nottingham Forest will be fighting for their lives, really. But I also don't think that that's going to matter. I think the idea around a lot of teams fighting for survival really is when they're versing maybe not the top two teams. That's why I don't think City will drop points as much as well. But this isn't an Everton. This is a Nottingham Forest side that hasn't been brilliant, hasn't really shown those signs of brilliance against the top clubs, apart from that draw against Man City, which they really didn't really deserve. Man City dominated the game, but Arsenal are going to get this one done yet again. A 2-0 win is my prediction. The final game of the season, I think, will be Wolves-Arsenal, and an Arsenal win. Now, this could actually decide the season. We don't know yet. However, I'm going to say that Arsenal on the last day of the season, they're very good at home on the last day of the season. I think Wolves will be on the beach. Their mind won't be in it. I'm going for a demolition of a 4-1 again at the end of the season for Arsenal. So if you put that all together, that means that Arsenal would win the league by a 2-point margin if they lose to Manchester City, because it then means that the points are even before the Brighton game, where Brighton, I've predicted, will get a draw against Man City, and that will be the deciding factor. However, there are so many ways this could go. Arsenal could win at Man City but lose at St James's Park and drop points somewhere else. Man City could beat Arsenal but drop points against Everton and maybe even Brentford on the last day of the season. However, I think, and my prediction, and I hope it's true, is that Arsenal win the league by just 2 points. And if they do, that would be a massive achievement, I've got to say. However, this season has been very unpredictable, so anything could happen. However, I think Arsenal will have the belief, desire and the passion to get themselves across the line, but only just, and it will be close. So thank you guys once again for watching. If you haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button and dropping a like down below. That would be amazing. And let me know in the comments who you think is going to take the title and where maybe each team could drop points. So once again, thank you very much.